Hey everybody, welcome to the first ever episode of Why'd They Make It Like That? I'm your host, Noach Lundgren, and we've got a really cool show for you today. We got a couple of products related to our theme of the day, which is air. So first up, we've got the old model of the West Bend brand Air Crazy model popcorn hot air popper. And we picked this up a while back at a thrift store, but still in the box in very good condition, so that is not the issue. I do have to say this does have a few nice features. For example, if we take a look at the bottom here, it's got these little silicone feet to keep it from sliding, and also you can see it's got a place to wrap up the power cord underneath so it stays out of the way. However, as usual with these type of things, there isn't anywhere to stick the end of the power cord that plugs into the wall. I'm always baffled by that. Like, why coil it up and then not have a place for the dangly two-prong cord on the end to go? I don't really get it, but c'est la vie. Also a nice circular power switch there, very easy to get to, and has a very satisfying click. You can hear that running, works well. So let's get to the problems with this. First of all, it's got this this little scooper thing, right? That's designed to basically act like a measuring cup. So you pour in the popcorn kernels, you know about how much that you can put in there at once, which is great. However, there are a couple problems with this. The first is that this handle here is directly over the hot air. And the problem with that is this heats up really hot. So once you've used it to scoop in the first one, if you're doing a second batch, that's gonna be too hot to touch. And, obviously you need to put this back on so that popcorn doesn't come flying out the top. So that's kind of a problem. I don't really understand why they didn't just make it go this way, because this area over here really doesn't heat up that much. So that totally would have worked. Any of y'all out there are industrial design experts, feel free to leave in the comments if you have any ideas why that wouldn't work or why they might have done it this way. I'm actually curious, but for now I'm just going to say I think it's kind of dumb. The other problem is, if you can see, put this straight over here, I've got you're looking straight down at this, and you'll notice that most of this opening is actually not over the spot where we want the popcorn kernels to go. So if I go ahead and fill this up with some kernels, you'll see that if I tried to just pour this straight in through the middle of the opening here, a lot of them are ending up spilling out the front because it's not actually over here. So basically I have to painstakingly get it that way. I don't understand this. Why not just make the hole go further back? This curve here could have come up a lot straighter and allowed for the hole to the opening to actually be centered over the air popping area. That seems pretty simple to me. I don't get it. Again, why did they make it like that? So now if we actually test this thing out, the other thing you'll notice is that this kind of points straight out this way. It's not even that far off from a 90-degree angle, which would have it just like blowing out like a leaf blower or something. It really seems like they could have curved it more to accommodate popping it into a bowl. So we're just going to test this out here, see how it goes. most of it's fine right now. But some of it's just going flying out to the left and right, straight. It's like all over the place. Just point it down. How hard is that? Alright, so that's the old model of the West Bend Air Crazy Hot Air Popcorn Popper. So, next we've got the Hoover React vacuum. And I have to say, I really love this vacuum. Picked it up new at a local bargain outlet. Great deal. It's got a lot of great features. And honestly, I'm really sad to even say that this has a design flaw. But it's got one small one that I think is kind of like just so obvious. Like, why didn't this vacuum was so close to perfect? Why didn't it just go that tiny step further and make it actually perfect? So, like I said, this has a lot of great features. It's got a nice wrapping cord, the usual attachments, pretty easy to access hose and compartments, easy to access filter, which can be cleaned or replaced. I like that the power switch is right here, and basically all the buttons and everything all in one spot, which is great. It's got this interesting floor sense thing. You can tell if there's a carpet or a hard floor. Works pretty well. Got a couple of these little lights for, I guess, either if you're vacuuming in the dark, which I don't know anybody who does that, but I guess it could be fun. Or probably if you're trying to get underneath something that's hard to see, or in a corner of a room that's hard to see. So that can be handy. And it kicks back pretty easily and swivels nicely. That's great. And the best thing about this is that you can actually take off this whole section. Quick lift here. You can remove it from the base. And then if you take the hose, you can literally just carry this around. It's a lot lighter if you're doing the stairs or whatever. And the hose system is pretty cool too. However, this is where we get into a little bit of a kerfluffle. So this is where the hose detaches. So most of the time, if I'm gonna do the stairs or something, you could take down here and take the whole long hose pipe out to vacuum that way. However, the handy thing is that you can just take this handle part and it actually comes off here, and there's a little hose. You'll see what that looks like in a second. But you see this button? That button is what you have to push, the handle release button, to be able to detach this whole handle hose piece. Problem with that is that it requires two hands to do this. There's no way to do it one-handed. I have to hold this button in while pulling this up. And you see this thing's really handy. You can put the attachments on that or just use it as a hose. Carry it around with this thing. That's great. But my question is, why couldn't they put this button up on the handle side so that you could just hold the vacuum down with your foot, depress the button, and pull up one-handed? That's great, right? You're already holding this thing with the other hand, just push that, pull up. But with this, you can't do that. You can't push this and pull up with one hand. You literally have to set stuff down, do that. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why they couldn't just reverse that release so that the mechanism is on here. Maybe it would get in the way of something. As always, if you're an actual industrial designer and you know why they did it this way, let me know. I am interested. but I'm just a tiny bit disappointed. I love this vacuum, but that little thing seems like they could have done a better job of designing that one. That's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. Check back next month for another video. If you like the video, like it. If you don't like it, dislike it. Drop me some comments. Love to hear your feedback, comments, questions, whatever. And subscribe if you want to see more. Have a good one.